I've been creating content for a while now, and I recently became full-time, and I'm gonna share with you guys 5 real truths about becoming a full-time content creator while I do my skincare and my makeup, because a bunch of you guys wanna know what products I've been using lately, and they're all gonna be linked in the comment section down below. As you can see, my skin is very dry at the moment, so I'm going to apply my vitamin C serum. Number 1 is the commitment. I feel like a lot of people on YouTube and a lot of YouTube gurus will talk about consistency first. But in my experience, while consistency is very important, if you don't have a commitment to something, then there's nothing to be consistent about, if that makes sense. So for me, once I made the commitment that I was going to create content, I almost treated it like a real job. I treated it pretty seriously, I'm not gonna lie. And typically I like that. I like to show my personality and I like to have fun moments and stuff like that online. But for the most part, I do treat it like a business because it is. And I was treating it like a business before it actually became a business. So I find that while consistency is incredibly important, if you don't have the commitment to something, and that's beyond creating content, if you don't have the commitment to anything, there's nothing to be consistent about. Do you know what I mean? Oh my God, my skin really needed that. And once you made that commitment, there are so many things that happen after you made that commitment. For me, it wasn't like an out of the blue, like I decided to hit record and that was it. It took me a really long time to come to terms with this is what I want to do, because I just felt like I was thinking about it a lot. And this might sound embarrassing, but I was also like practicing how to create content. Like I would talk in the mirror, I would create video journals and things like that to kind of help me practice speaking out loud, if that makes sense. And doing that work, while it was kind of cringy, even though nobody saw me do it, it really helped me and set me up for doing what I'm doing now. I would highly recommend doing a video diary. I would highly recommend talking in the mirror. Even when you wake up in the morning and you're doing your skincare and things like that, walk through your skincare routine. This is just an example for a beauty content creator, but you can do this with anything. If you're fixing a car, walk through how you're fixing a car. Or if you're cooking, and I used to do this one a lot. I used to walk through how I was cooking a meal to a point where I would actually record it with my sister when we were kids. This is before YouTube in general, but we would pretend like it was my cooking show and we would have barbecues outside and stuff like that. The point is to have fun with it. Once you've committed to it, still make sure you're having fun with it. I love this thing. This is so good. And another thing, I thought it would be quick and easy, but it's a process. It took a really long time for me to actually become a full-time content creator. I started doing content here on YouTube in 2017, and actually before that technically, but this channel started in 2017 and it's now 2025. So it did take me a very long time. And sometimes we see success, especially in recent years where people started only 3 years ago or 2 years ago, but everybody's journey is different. And once you come to terms with, you don't want to necessarily have a viral moment. Viral moments are fine, but what's more sustainable is having that consistency once you've made that commitment. If you have dry skin, this is like the best thing. Like you can already see how hydrated my skin is. It's so good. And also you can do what I'm doing now, where you're kind of talking about a topic, but also walking through a very popular request. And you can also have fun with this as well. Like you're probably doing the exact same thing I do on a day-to-day, but I document it and I try to help people as much as I can, because this video itself is the most popular questions I get: how to become a content creator and what my skincare and makeup routine is. So I decided to put both in one and walk you through both topics. And number 2 is the behind the scenes reality. The reality is your first few videos are not going to be that great. And then when you get into the groove, some videos are not going to be that great, despite you doing videos for a really long time, if that makes sense. So what I mean by behind the scenes is the reshooting, the refilming, the re-saying the same thing over and over again until you get that line right. There is an incredible level of patience during the behind the scene moments that you just really have to get accustomed to. What ends up happening sometimes, especially when I'm creating content in the kitchen, I'll see something once I've filmed it that is in the background that shouldn't be in the background. And I'll have to sometimes even reshoot again. When I'm creating content, I don't have a team behind me. I don't have a crew that's in charge of audio, in charge of making sure I'm in frame, like in charge of all of that. Like I am literally doing the behind the scenes work to make sure that I can focus on looking right at the lens and have the confidence that while I'm looking right at the lens, that I am in focus, which is really hard because what most creators do is look at the viewfinder, which is here, which is a video you wouldn't want to watch. Like, you'd want to see me see you, almost like we're on a FaceTime call with a really good camera quality, obviously. My goal is to be able to make my audience feel that they're talking to me and like we're just having a chat. And I'll ask my editor to insert this where I've had to repeat the same line over and over again because I stumble on my words. My goal, my goal is to have, and that's just the reality and that's okay. But the finished product is you see everything cohesive and nice. Once you come to terms that you're gonna have to sometimes refilm, reshoot, just make sure everything is prepped, make sure your battery is charged. Perfect example is this video was meant to be filmed yesterday, but once I got everything set up, literally put on all the lights, had all my skincare, my makeup ready to go, I ran out of battery. So that meant I had to pivot and do something else and film other content upstairs with my phone. And here's a bonus tip. You don't need to have the best quality. Most of my outperformed videos are shot on my iPhone. Not all of them, but most of them. So you don't need the most expensive camera to create content. And another point that you have to come to terms with is it might take a really long time to shoot content. So just make sure you're blocking that time off. And what I would highly recommend is putting your devices on Do Not Disturb. It makes a difference. Number 3 is the mental load. You really need to come to terms with making sure that your mental health is on point. You have to literally put parameters in your schedule to make sure that you're taking care of yourself. The mental load will take a toll on you. And it is your job, and literally only your job, to make sure that you are doing everything that you can to make sure that you're blocking out time for yourself. Because imposter syndrome is a thing. Trying to stay motivated is a thing. Dealing with self-doubt, unfortunately, does creep up. So when it comes to making sure that you are in the right headspace, it is critical, so important for you to make sure that you're taking care of yourself. And if you're in the lifestyle space like me, you can create content about taking care of yourself, which is great because it will help your audience kind of understand how you stay motivated, how you maintain moments of self-doubt and imposter syndrome and things like that. But it is so critical for you to turn off your phone. Have those boundaries set where you are just shutting down, turning off your brain, just relaxing. So I have a routine and I stick to it to the best of my ability, but that is something that you will have to deal with. And if you don't deal with it, you're gonna be faced with burnout, which is not fun. And since implementing habits that help me, I haven't actually, thank God, I have not had to deal with burnout. I've been close, but again, having that time to step back and reassess, breathe, take care of myself has been a game changer for me. I love this foundation because it also has SPF 15, and I have 2 events to go to today, one with Shiseido, the other with EOS. I know the EOS event is going to be outside on a rooftop, so I want to make sure I am protected by the sun, girl. And if you want me to create a video on my healthy habits and how I avoid burnout, let me know in the comment section down below. Whether you're in the content creating space or not, burnout is real, but you gotta take care of yourself, girl. You gots to. Number 4 is the financial reality. When it comes to the finances, when it comes to being a full-time content creator, I've been told I'm like an entrepreneur when I tell people I'm a full-time content creator. Whether you thought you'd be an entrepreneur as a career choice or not, the minute you decide that I'm gonna be a full-time content creator, you are an entrepreneur. So that's number 1. The financial reality when it comes to this career is there are so many things that you have to factor in. Number 1, payments don't happen the same way when you have a 9-to-5. When you have a 9-to-5, you get paid on the 1st and on the 15th. Like, it's very predictable. It's very, very structured and great if you're a person that likes routine like me. However, when it comes to doing content, that predictability goes away. So you have to come to terms with a net 30, which is great if you're lucky, net 60, sometimes net 90, which is when the payment is due when you are working with brands, or even on YouTube. YouTube monetization happens every 30 days or every 28 days. So you really have to make sure you are smart with the money that you are earning when you become a full-time content creator. And another thing that you have to consider is the money that you are putting back into the business to reinvest into the business. An example of this is Canva. Canva has a free version, or you could pay for the pro version, which I do so I can create thumbnails and things like that for this channel. And you can go beyond obviously using Canva for more than just YouTube. You can use it for your stories and things like that. However, Canva Pro does come at a monthly price. So that's also things that you have to consider. And Canva is just a tiny example of what you can do to make sure that you are sustaining your business, you are reinvesting into your business and things like that. And also, you have to pay your taxes. You have to pay your taxes. The one piece of advice my dad gave me was make sure you pay your taxes on time. Just be on top of it. I would say we can go into detail in another video if you'd like, but just make sure you are on top of it. So overall, when it comes to the financial reality, is you really have to consider it's not your typical 9 to 5. There is a lot of unpredictability, if you will, when it comes to this as a career choice. I'm just gonna blend out my concealer. I gotta get going. Oh, and there was a video where it kind of went viral, and I was recently in Montreal, and me and a friend of mine wanted to do a quick funny video, and it was a video of her asking how much this trip all cost and things like that. And I was like, oh, one video, one Instagram reel, one TikTok, a few stories and things like that. And she was like, oh, it's not that bad. It's like, okay, I'm loving how this looks, but it clearly needs to be set. I am looking pretty shiny, which I don't mind actually, but I just want to set it. Gotta make sure I get my forehead. And then I'm gonna set my blush. I feel so weird with no eye makeup. It's gonna come next. This one is from MAC. I'm just gonna put on my scarf because I don't want like the gel on my hair to like rise up. You know what I mean? I saw my friend do this and I'm like, I'm doing this all the time now. So I'm gonna use the Charlotte Tilbury setting spray to set my face. And then next I'm gonna also go in with my Charlotte Tilbury finishing powder, just on the areas where I'm like a little too shiny. See, that looks a lot better. And then I'm gonna also just apply some bronzer on my eyelids and then do my eye makeup. Number 5 is it worth it? For instance, for me, when I like to think about it, okay. My camera decided to shut down because of overheating, which happens. So again, very unpredictable. So like I was saying, is it worth it? Of course it's worth it. I'm not gonna lie. There are so many changing factors that happen when I decided to make this career choice, but it is worth it. I feel like I'm having a lot of fun with content I am creating, which is something I've always loved to do. There's opportunities to meet people, to meet with brands. It's beyond getting products and things like that. It's really connecting with people in real life for me and connecting with my audience. That has been the best thing. Out of all the things that we spoke about, the behind the scenes, the mental load, the finance reality, the big commitment, is it all worth it? And at the end of the day, I can tell you it's worth it. I have learned so much about myself. I've learned so much about products that I used to love and new products that I love now. Like there's just so many things that factor in when I decided to make this my career. And not to mention the absolute freedom. Like your days are your own. And don't get me wrong, my 9 to 5 was incredible. I was there for over 9 years. I loved the people I worked with. It was great. And it really helped me to get here. But I will say that although there are some days where it's very tough and there are some days where I don't know all the answers, but it's just so great. And when you don't know the answer to everything, it's okay because you're not meant to know the answer to everything. Like I'm not an accountant at the end of the day, but I hired one. I know how to edit videos, but now I feel like if I want to sustain and grow and expand my business and show up for my audience, for you guys on a consistent basis, I'd have to hire an editor. So there are things that I'm just like learning and growing and doing and thinking about and reading your questions in the comments and connecting with you guys on lives on TikTok and connecting with you guys in person too has been like phenomenal. Has been like such an experience where I'm just like really taken back all the time. And honestly, it makes me so happy that my content is resonating with the right people. That's what it's all about. For me, at least. I really, really do love everything about this job. I feel like there were so many things that happened that led me here that I'm just grateful for. I don't know. I'm just grateful for it. And so to recap, you have to stay committed. You have to consider the behind the scenes work to create even one video. You have to do the storyboarding. You have to potentially refilm videos. You have to make sure that your battery is charged. And the mental load could be a lot to a lot of creators. So it's really important that you take the time to take care of yourself and understand the reality of the finances when it comes to this career choice. It's not as predictable as what you might be used to. So all those things considered, would you still want to become a full-time content creator? Let me know in the comment section down below. I do get asked a lot, especially online online and in person actually, what it's like being a full-time content creator. And I can do a part 2 of the series. Just let me know down below and I got you. I gotta run for an event, so wish me luck. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on my next video.